Hey guys, welcome to another video. One of you people requested me to make a video on UAD plugins specifically. I might use one or two non-UAD plugins because I don't have the whole bundle yet, but I'm going to be using whatever UAD plugins I have, and let's try to make something good out of this. And I'm really excited to try something new. Let's just quickly hop in. So I have mixed this track using most of the UAD plugins. So here I'm going to play it for you, how it sounds after mixing. So basically what I've done is, if we open this mix page here, so we can see that on the guitar, what I've used is Pro Q4, as this is like the best dynamic EQ which exists, and I really like this one. So what I've done is I have removed all the lows. So like 3K is, it is good to be in the guitar, but then you know, you have to like even duck it at times because it's too much at times, so I'm just ducking it when it's going above 0 dB. 10K too, it has like the crispness of the guitar, so I've just used the dynamic EQ to bring it up when it is actually rising above 0 dB. It'll just click more, okay? And a little bit of 1K, and I've removed a little bit of the 200 hertz, 200 to 300 hertz. And I've used an 1176. 1176 is my favorite on guitar. And if you see on the guitar tabs, so over here, as you can hear, that it is panned to the left, but you can hear the delay on your right. And that is why, because I thought that was a cool effect. Right now what I think is I can just reduce it, the panning a little bit. So same thing on the Pro Q4, but I've increased that 2K because it's just a string playing, so it is plucking, and I think the 2K sounds, as you can hear that, right? So I've increased that like 2 dB. This is how it sounds before. .1176 is the same, but the interesting part is this smack attack is basically bringing out the transients more, and sustain, I've just reduced it a little bit so that you hear the transient of that, because it is the plucking of the guitar. That's why. Galaxy Tape Echo, which I don't usually use, but it's a great plugin to use, especially on guitar because it has a pedal effect on it. So I would recommend to use this one whenever you have any guitar track in your mix. And then we have the warm synth pad. Interestingly, I have used on a synth pad, I've used the Poltech the very first time because I haven't used a Poltech on a synth ever. I've just removed a little bit of the 100 hertz because you don't want a lot of low end too on the warm synth pad, but you do want a little, but it just shouldn't interrupt with the kick or the bass. Usually it doesn't because it's not very low. So 3K is boosted but in a broadband, and this is how it sounds before. It just is lifting it up, right? One thing which I feel we should do here is add a compressor, a very light compression, which is LA3A. We can always use the mix knob to add up the amount which we want, and we can remove it. So I think it's fine. That's what the speciality of UAD plugins is. Like, you just put it on and it sounds great. So now we're gonna see what is on the bass. So the bass has this plugin, which is like the bass plugin, I would say, mostly used on these bass tracks. So if we hear, so increasing the line, it's just this. Where's the bass? There it is, right? So increasing the line input in this plugin would help the bass reach more into the plugin itself, and then we can adjust the frequencies here. We have an EQ. I've just increased a little bit of this level here. I've removed that 2.5K, which I thought was ringing, so I just removed that. I've just added this compression to this compression, which is obviously needed on the bass. So here is how it sounds. And that's what I'll be explaining to men. If you can make the track, just the music itself sound good, that means you're more than halfway there. But of course, the lead vocal is what is leading the song. So here I have my vocal. Out of control, I'm out of control, I'm out of control, I'm out of control, I'm out of control. So as you can see right now, quality of the lead vocal is good. I think it can be reduced in volume. So I'm just going to add a gain plugin here so that we can reduce the volume of the vocal, because I've already automated the volumes. Out of control, I'm out of control, I'm out of control. It all started when So if ever you face these kind of issues when you're like automating the volume and then you cannot just reduce it because you have automated it, then just go and add a gain plugin, which will help you to change the volume. So this is usually what my vocal chain is. So here we have, of course, a Pultec, which is boosting the 8K and reducing the 5K as much as it can, because it doesn't sound so good on my vocal. And attenuating the 100 Hertz is what all vocals need. We don't want any lows on the vocal. Pro DS and LA3A, which I need on my vocal as it's a really light compression, as I used it on the synth pad. And then the LA2A, which is a very special plugin. It just lifts everything up. Like, you put it on, it's the secret sauce, which I always use. And then I have used the stock EQ. Why? Because I thought there was a lot of 1K ringing before. So if you just see the sound. But there are some things which can't be the way. So just adding this on the vocal, it makes it sound more smoother and better. And that's what I'll be explaining to myself. For the reverb, the greatest of all is the Capital Chambers reverb, and then you have this Waves plugin, which is working when the vocal is playing, so the reverb doesn't ring as much, because if you don't put a compressor underneath the reverb, then the reverb would be just playing and it would interrupt with the vocal, right? As is the lead vocal, it's really important to add a compressor just below the reverb. And then we have the Studio D chorus, which I love, and it just adds sweetness. Forever, because I'm out of control, I'm out of control. So it's reacting more when it's the chorus part, so it's just making it sound amazing like that. It's giving that sweet sauce to it. Control, I'm out of control, I'm out Now comes the master bus, some kind of ringing frequencies which I would remove first. I use this Manly Massive Passive EQ, which is really easy to use, and I just love the taste of it on the mix, and just boosting up the frequencies like a little bit of 1K because I removed it in certain vocal parts, but I think overall in the mix it just sounds great. And then I boosted quite a lot of the 12K so that it just sounds brighter, the mix. As before. So accordingly, like, if I did this mix yesterday and I listened to it today, then I would find differences, I would find mistakes, which I would correct the other day. There's always things to do. It's never ending. To know when to stop is what you want. And then soothe. Soothe is just soothe. It just soothes everything. Why I'm using a bit less would do because I don't want a lot of squashing. And then just a limiter so that you can hear it properly. I don't add limiters in my mix, but this was just to try it out. It's just love it. So this was it, and if you liked this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Happy mixing, guys.